On the road once again, Day One Radio, the podcast that you love. In my hometown, Oakland, California, sitting on 17th and Broadway, talking to one of the newest contributors to the magazine world, Mr. Mike Nicholls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you know, with Day One Radio, we're all about telling stories that you may not have heard or telling stories that haven't been told yet. Mm-hmm. I think this falls kind of in between both. So, you know, we bring you household names, we bring you legends, we also bring you new people that are doing new and exciting things. My partner, Maurice Garland, could not be here with me today, but happy Thanksgiving to you, brother, out there in Atlanta. But, man, I was reading the East Bay Express online, and they were talking about this new magazine that is spotlighting the creatives.
Yes,
you know, visually especially, that are, you know, black folks. It's not really represented in a lot of mediums. And I've found that anytime a publication spotlights another publication, this is something that you need to pay attention to.
Yes,
so
indeed.
First, how did you get into the magazine game? How did you have a desire to do magazines, be an art director, all of that type of stuff?
So really I think it first started in high school. I remember going to a rim shop in Charlotte and with my cousin, and I saw the Source magazine, and it was the one when it was with Heavy D. So this had to be like 92, 93, around 92 sometime, 91. So I saw Heavy D on the cover, I remember like Word Up and Ride On, whatever, but it just felt different.
Right.
And then fast forward to my senior year in high school, I saw Vibe.
Yeah.
Now,
which took the art up a level.
Exactly. Like when I picked up Vibe and I saw the difference between that and the Source, particularly it was a cover with Snoop Dogg was on the cover. It was
Bow Wow Wow cover.
It was Snoop Dogg, and then there was one with Wesley Snipes. Either that was the second one or the first one. I can't remember which one. But it just felt different. Like you said, the art value just went up.
Right.
And so from that point on, I was a fan of magazines. This is back in 94, 93 when it came out. And so that's really what it's been. And then I went to school for art. I went to Art Institute of Atlanta, over off of Lenox. And then I went to school first for illustration.
Gotcha.
And I couldn't find a job. I remember doing some illustrations for Earwax. Remember Earwax?
Yeah.
That was
record store
on Peachtree. And
shout out to Keela, the homegirl.
Big supporter
of the show.
I went there and I was like, was trying to hustle as an illustrator, right? And so I went there. I was like, I drew the owners at the time. It was like 4 dudes. I forgot their names, whatever, but I drew all 4 of them. And so then I just wasn't really my hustle game wasn't really on yet. You know what I'm saying? And so I went back to school for graphic design, but at the time, our institute didn't have a bachelor's degree for graphic design, so I moved to Chicago. But one last memory I had of Atlanta is Freaknik.
Oh, yeah.
So
the memory that many people that have been to Atlanta lived in Atlanta had.
I'm going to be real with you. Like, I was evergreen, dude. I was not into the club scene. Like, I love dancing, but I wasn't really like that dude, right? So I always felt out of place. What I did is I said, okay, you know what? In order for me to feel a part of this, I need to create something that is for this. So I made a T-shirt for Freaknik.
Oh,
and
wow.
I remember, dude, so my T-shirt was based off an idea of a Kool-Aid pack, which is so crazy. So I took the Freaknik, I took the letters for Kool-Aid, and I freaked it to say Freaknik with the same type of script. And I remember I was at a barbershop, right? And I don't know where this barbershop was, somewhere in South DeKalb somewhere. And I remember, I was trying to sell my T-shirt, and this other guy was doing the same thing. Mine was just different, right? So he had to pick which one.
Right.
And so he was like, well, I like dudes because it's kind of a different style to it. And so that was the first time I really put myself out there as an artist and say, okay, look what I'm making and dig it or, like it or not. And so as an artist, it's hard to put yourself out there. That's one of the themes in this issue is vulnerability as an artist. You know what I'm saying? So I put myself out there. I did it. And I was selling T-shirts, dude, on 85, because when the traffic is backed up.
Yeah, definitely. Which Freaknik was this? What year was this?
This was 94.
Oh, this was the Freaknik.
Yeah, no,
that's the best one.
No, 97. The 97.
Okay,
because that was my last year in Atlanta.
Okay,
and I remember, dude, I was selling T-shirts on 85. I forgot is it Piedmont Park?
Piedmont Park.
Piedmont Park, whatever. So that was my first time really put myself out there as an artist. You know what I'm saying? And so from that point on, I knew in order for me to feel one with the community or the environment I'm in, I need to add something to it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and Umber is the same thing, whatever. Like, in order for me to feel a part of something.
Now, we'll definitely post, pictures on social media for sure of the cover, but the cover is super abstract as well. I mean, the paper stock is very nice. Like, this doesn't look like issue 1. You know what I mean? How did you, and it's Umber, the Creative Thinkers Graphic Journal. That's pretty ill as a subtitle in itself. Yeah, how did you come up with the artwork, or who came up with the artwork? And then also, how did you come up with the title? Yeah,
so first the title. I mentioned earlier that I lived in Philly for a while.
Yeah.
And this was like in 06. I came up with the idea for Umber in 06. So it's been over 10 years in the making now.
Right.
And so umber is short for burnt umber, which is a pigment that artists use when they paint.
Nice.
And umber means brown pigment from the earth.
Wow.
So it's like it hits on double levels, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a metaphor. It's relating to me as an artist, but also too because I'm brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from the earth. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted a name that was really short and succinct. So that was the purpose of the name, Umber. And then actually in 2005 in 2012 I did a prototype of Umber, really short, like printing of it, just to try to see if people like it or not. And so fast forward to now, the cover art. I think I mentioned this in a piece in the other publication, is that I didn't grow up with my dad. You know what I'm saying? And so, but this particular piece you see here is an interpretation of a painting he did when I was like about 2 years old. At the time, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but I was raised in Charlotte in North Carolina. But so this piece I've carried with me my whole life, from Philly to Chicago to Atlanta to Oakland. So I've always had this piece. So the cover artwork is his artwork. So I just redrew it on the computer in order to have it printable. And I just love the piece that he did, and I feel like it really represented looking up, and almost like you're drowning, but you're raising from the water.
Right.
And so that's really what the piece is an interpretation of a painting that he did. You know what I'm saying?
Is your dad still alive?
He's still alive. Go ahead.
Did he have an opinion? Has he heard? Has he seen?
Dads are always going to be dads. So he was like, okay, it's cool, whatever. But then I think when he saw it printed, when he saw the article, whatever, when he saw because I actually launched a Kickstarter campaign to raise money for the printing. And so when he saw the campaign and he saw that, I was really like, he was getting excited. And so we didn't have the best relationship. So I felt a way for me to let me kind of use his legacy for my purpose almost. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to be clear that Umber is definitely a personal journey that I made to make this. Is a culmination of my life up until this point. But I had help. Right. Definitely had help. I had people who showed up and contribute to the articles, to the art. Outside of my dad, actually, I'm the only artist in the magazine. So all the illustrations you see and layout, I did.
Wow.
And so, it's been just a labor of love, but now it's becoming to have legs to it. And so, like I said, the issue is about vulnerability. And so in order for me to really embrace vulnerability as a visual artist, I should talk about my relationship with my dad, who was also a visual artist, who also didn't grow up with his dad. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really sort of the premise of the magazine. Even though it's definitely a visual arts magazine. It's very graphic and it's in detail, whatever. But it's for anybody who is creative in how they think. You know what I'm saying, and how they approach the world and how they look at life. So man.
You mentioned the Kickstarter campaign, which you raised a little under $12,000.
Yeah. So the goal was 10 G's, and I raised $11,499.
What was your expectation going into it that so many people say magazines are dead, black people don't read, all those other stereotypes? So, when you came in, your presentation, was dope. I think it was, straight to the point and let people kind of know. It gave them your credentials, let you know you wasn't finna go, put a down payment on a Maserati or nothing with the money. So, what were your expectations with doing the crowdfunding thing? Did it exceed them, or?
Be honest, dude, I really created this because I wanted to make a printed magazine, right? And so, like I said, with all the help and support I got from contributors and actually people who helped out with the campaign, like it became something way bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things where you put it out, like, what's the Field of Dreams? You build it and people will come. Yeah. And so, you know, like a lot of people who helped out with the campaign, from Monica Joe, who stayed on after the campaign, helping out as a publisher. So she's helping out with marketing, advertising, and so and then it just, I didn't know what it was going to be. I went in there like I had when Umber was created, it was created because I had no other choice. Like I tried to find a job, I tried to fit myself in other people's perspectives and paradigms or boardrooms, and it just wasn't working. And so Umber was really because I had no other choice. So the expectation was really low. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's another part of being vulnerable. Like you showing up, you pulling up, and like, I don't know if you like me or not, but here I am. So the expectations were, I knew I was gonna get the funding, but I just didn't know how it was gonna happen and where it was gonna come from.
Gotcha.
You know, so yeah, man.
So how, you know, from the prototype issue in 2012 to actually, you know, being on newsstands, being available to the public in 2017. What do you think is the most valuable lesson you learned about putting together a magazine or just being a creative in those 5 years?
Having people. When I did a prototype, I had one amazing photographer, and that was it. I pulled all the content from Wikipedia just to give some context to it. But in this one, I literally showed other people like, hey, you're an amazing artist, you're an amazing person. Would you want to be down with something that's kind of personal? And so people really, they resonated with it. Like they saw how passionate I was about the project. And so the difference is really bringing other people in the fold. You know what I'm saying? And realizing that it's not just about me. It's about realizing that there's a lack thereof of magazines that represent us in one space. Right. I mean, let's just be clear. Like there's other artsy-fartsy magazines out there that have black people here, there, kind of like spotty, right? But never in one unit, never in one, like almost like never in one mall. You know what I'm saying? And so it's always just like, you know, I'll go to this
shop. You got to go 3 different sides of town. Right.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Almost like South DeKalb, right? Where I live in South DeKalb, it's like black folks. Yeah. You just see black folks, right? So imagine you picking up a magazine and you're reading all the articles and wow, this is kind of dope, right? And then you see the contributors and they're all black and brown. But they're just being themselves, talking about whether it's fashion, whether it's being a visual designer, whether it's being a singer, whether it's being a performance artist, and you're talking about your perspective of the world as a creative person, and then you look at the contributors like, wow, we're all black and brown. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the effect I want, to where like you see this amazing magazine, you see all the beautiful content, you see all these beautiful people, and they just happen to be black and brown. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man.
How did you choose like the subjects for it? Obviously, the you know, the theme is vulnerability, but you have some hip hop in here.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of, you know, beautiful women
of
different hues in here. How did you kind of decide this is, because you know you never get another first issue.
Yeah, I know.
So how did you decide what you wanted to be represented in this first issue?
Luckily, I found an amazing group of friends.
Okay.
An amazing group of people. And they really represent all of which is a part of me. And so when we were developing Umber, we wanted to really find people who really who cross the spectrum of creative lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? So really there's a curating process that happens with people who are not in your network, but I was just lucky to have some amazing people who are like really, really dope at what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I just approached them like, hey, you can kind of write your style of writing, but you have to really talk about vulnerability. And so there's a lot of voices in the magazine that is not particularly mine, because I wanted to have a variety of insights. And so you mentioned the hip hop piece. The hip hop piece is so okay. I need to have one thing that's just Mike. You know, I need to have one thing that's like you for me, whatever. And I'm a hip hop head, so let's just be clear about that. And for me, is always the one of the articles in there is about the top 5. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I said, like, you know, for me to be vulnerable again.
Yeah.
Talk about my top 5, whatever. Like, let's.
That is a vulnerable topic.
Dude, like
people judge the hell out
Yes,
of you.
yes, man. It's almost like if you talk, it depends on who you talk to. Ever like it can determine whether you're like a true hip hop dude or whether you like, whether you're into like the, more contemporary stuff or more old school stuff. Depends on what era you was born in. And so mine is very, is curated based upon my personal experience with NMC.
So you got to share it.
Yes.
Top 5.
Top 5 is Guru.
Okay.
From Gangstar. Is Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang. Is Fonte. From Little Brother,
North Carolina.
Yes, indeed. Is Doom, MF Doom, and Black Thought.
Okay.
So those are and each one of those I have a story, personal story for each one of those people. And outside of that, they embrace their vulnerability.
True.
Think about Ghostface. Like Ghostface, like he, as much as he has the bravado, he like the swag, whatever. Like he talks about personal stuff, personal shit. Like that's he goes in. He's not ashamed about whatever experiences he has. You know what I'm saying? And so even with Fonte, whatever, like he goes in too. Definitely. I mean, not only can he rap, but he has the melody. He can sing whatever. He's not afraid to do an R&B album. You know what I'm saying? Foreign exchange, wherever. So
I swear, I always ask people if they ever heard it. I know you have.
Yes.
From Carolina.
Yeah.
One of my favorite joints is when he did the Zoe and Tigolo project.
Dude.
And he did Return of the Mac.
Dude,
that's one of my joints.
But the other one, though, I actually was really digging was Tigolero.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got chill bumps thinking about it. If
the funny thing is, when Eric Roberson was on the podcast, he put out that was the first time he had ever told anybody the name of the album.
Wow.
It was when we interviewed.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, like that.
That's a banging album.
Dude,
that
like
project is really good.
When it's on, it's loud.
Yeah.
My neighbors have to deal with it for a little bit. Like it's like there's a swing to it. It's hip hop, but then it's R&B, but it's almost like just imagine if Jodeci was to get like a little bit more like a backpacker. You know what I'm saying? And really like kind of just like not be like vulnerable in their in their presentation as an artist, whatever, but just have that boom bap to it, but that soul to it, and like the SOS band, like it has, oh my gosh, dude. And so once again, Umber, when we created Umber, it's about being nuanced. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that we talked about in the whole campaign is nuance, and so that album right there is very nuanced. Like it's straight hip hop, it's straight R&B, but it's nuanced in its presentation of the concept that they're talking about. Like it isn't, you can't just put it in one particular box.
Right.
And I think as Black and brown people, we, particularly if you're creative, like you're going to look at something differently.
That's very true.
Like you're going to approach it just a little off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, and one thing too I appreciate about Fontaine, even with the album, whatever, is that some of the concepts seems random. Right, like it's references. Right, hip hop is all about references. Like they'll reference.
Right.
Like Doom is good for references. You know what I'm saying? And Black Thought is good for references. Even Ghostface too, whatever. But what connects random is the dialogue. And so through Umber, I really want to connect with the dialogue of people from
that B story. That flow.
Yes.
That's
an
editorial thing for sure.
Yes. And so. And I think, another thing that too helped me out, I want to get back to what made a difference with Umber this time is I actually got writers this time. The last time I didn't have actually people who actually wrote, who actually are writers for their full-time job. I'm a visual designer. I'm a graphic designer.
Right.
I'm all about print. I'm an illustrator. I have a mean pencil, but I needed somebody who actually can write to give that weight to it, And so particularly there's a piece in there from Angela and Carol out of Baltimore. She wrote this amazing piece about this Ethiopian American artist who out of D.C., where she's talking about the art that she creates through the migration of black and brown people from across countries, right?
Right.
I wanted that kind of weight to be in there. You know what I'm saying? And so at the same time, Then you break it up with the levity of the top 5 MCs.
Right.
Like that's what Umber represents, because all of those things represents us as Black and brown people.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
How are you handling like distribution and getting it in outlets and getting in people's faces and whatnot?
By pulling up. Literally, I just pull up. Like when one example is when we were doing the campaign, me and my team were like, we need to get in people's faces and tell people about what Umber is about. And so what I did is I went to L.A. and literally I hit every magazine store and bookstore and gallery you could think of in L.A. Mm-hmm. I went all throughout, like to South Central, to West Hollywood, to North. I mean, just everywhere. I just showed up and said, hey, I got this concept. And at the time, I had a prototype of the magazine. It wasn't even like done yet. It was just a printed, prototype. And so I say, I have this concept. What do you think? And so really, I mean, most times, depends on the store. They will want a national distributor. You know what I'm saying? But for the places that I'm trying to sell magazine that we're talking about, now you're going back to your concept of being
art house type thing.
Yes, because if you go to those niche magazine stores, and I'm looking to find some in Atlanta, so if you know some, definitely let me know, whatever. But if you go in those niche stores, or even like a gallery gift shop, you see magazines from all over the world, printed in beautiful paper, thick, barely no ads, and so I know it's not dead. I know print is nowhere near dead. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so literally,
were they receptive?
Yeah, they were. I mean, so here's one example. I went to MoCA. So MoCA is a museum of contemporary art in downtown LA, and I showed him a video of the campaign. Right. He hasn't even seen the printed magazine or nothing yet, and he's like, I want to buy some. Bought them outright. So I did that first trip to LA. We just put a prototype, hit up every store I could think of. I went back after the campaign was over with the printed magazine. MoCA bought theirs on the spot.
Nice.
Like they just like, okay, let's do it. Because usually for distribution, it's consignment. Consignment is like, they'll pay.
And the distributor is taking a percentage.
Exactly. And for me, for the first issue, I need to build a relationship with the people who wear them. I need you to see my face. I need you to shake my hand. I need you to see, okay, this is where we are here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so for distribution right now, it's all been hand over fist. I mean, it's really just all just been me just pulling up. In some cases, for instance, I got, Umber Magazine is printed, is shipped anywhere in the world. And there was recently a bookstore in the UK reached out to me.
Wow.
And so now Umber is being sold in London.
That's dope.
In 3 stores.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about, we're really just trying to push Umber, because not only is Umber about, it being national, in fact, it's from Oakland, but it is an international magazine. Even in the Kickstarter campaign, we had people who backed the campaign from UK, from Spain, from Australia, from Japan. Like, I don't know how they found it, but they did. Right. And so there's something telling them, okay, this has some legs. This means something.
I feel like also this is a great time for Black artists.
Yes. Oh, my gosh, dude.
Atlanta has a really strong community, Fahamu, an occasional superstar.
Yeah.
And there's so many, Maya Bailey, so many guys. Please forgive me for people I'm forgetting. But then, like, it's to the point now where certain people, like when I went to an exhibit not too long ago, one of my fellow Clark at Atlanta University Panther, Hebrew Brantley, it's to the point now where I mention Hebrew to Black people and they don't know who he is. I think they're lame. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm like, this dude is really out here putting in work on a major level. Yep. You know what I mean? Not just on art, but also with commerce.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. So I feel like this is kind of like, because nobody's really telling those stories. Yes. So I feel like when I first saw Umber, I was like, this can be an outlet to tell those stories.
But that was so one of the main things I really wanted Umber to do is create that platform. Like, we want Umber to create a platform for people to get their perspectives, their art out to the world. Yeah. Once again, in the full package, not you going to this magazine, that magazine, you get it all in one spot. And one of the things one of the plans that we did when we were doing Umber is that every time there's a issue, there's a release party. Okay. So whatever artist is featured in that magazine, we want your art to be at the release party, possibly so people can buy it right there. You know what I'm saying? So really giving people the platform, because like you said, this is the time. Like this is the time right now. And I remember when I was in Atlanta when they did the first Funk Jazz Cafe.
Jason Orr, yeah.
Lord have mercy, dude. Like I was 18, 19, and me and my homeboy Joe went, and it was like a marketplace for like, there was MCs in one corner, there was like graffiti on one side, there was people doing yoga, there was an open mic like poetry on one side, art making.
It was amazing. There's never been anything like that.
Wasn't there a documentary?
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. And it's and you know, he's taking it on the road, but it was never the same as it was when it was at the Tabernacle.
Yes. Oh my gosh, man.
It was never. We probably walked right past each other, didn't even know each other back then.
And so that's the thing. Like, I want Umber to be that.
Yeah.
I want Umber to be like where you can go and get everything you want from Black and brown people. You can get it here. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? And giving us that platform. And, you know, when one of the things that's really important that we talked about for Umber is that we want Umber to grow. We want Umber to grow into being like online content, video, the whole nine, but the experience I want you to have with Umber is a printed magazine.
Gotcha.
In order to feel something, you have to touch it.
Yeah.
You have to touch it. That's the way that's how you feel. And so through the printed form and printed media, we can explore different options or different platforms, but really the experience of Umber is for it to be printed. Even that's why I did Kickstarter, because I could have done an online magazine,
but
easy.
It's like, it feels disposable.
Exactly. Yes.
You're right.
For real, because that's really, because I want to, there's a way to where right now, like, people can repost, re-edit, you know, reappropriate, but when it's printed, you can't really do that. Like, it's a commitment. Yeah. Right? It's a commitment to our stories. It's a commitment to our perspectives, our ideas, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you open the doors to other possibilities. You know what I'm saying? So really, we really want Umber to be printed, because that's really the stories it's like an archive. It's like an archive, you know what I'm saying? And so, Funk Jazz, like, that was... Dude, that was it. That was the truth, man.
Have you started working on issue 2 yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, like, in order to warrant issue 2, we have to sell issue 1. Okay. And so, like I said, you could buy it online at umbermagazine.net. We're selling them in the UK. We're selling them here. But most of them in the West Coast, in terms of the bookstores and galleries and gift shops, but we're trying to move into the East Coast. Okay. And so really, and so it's funny because I was going to do a tour for Umber for the East Coast, starting in Atlanta.
You should.
I was going to start there and then make my way up. And but just, you know, just the money was all about the getting it printed, whatever, and really trying to have this sold up first before I make that move. So, but definitely issue 2 is happening. Working on that now. But we, you know, the main focus right now, whatever, is sell issue 1, is broaden the reach in the audience outside of Oakland, and then also 2, whatever, is get advertisers for the next issue. This issue we only had 2 advertisers because we really wanted the narrative and the content and the art to really to vibrate on a high level. And so for the next issue 2, there'll probably be more advertisers, but. Like, you look at some of these really artsy-fartsy magazines, the ads look like it's a part of the art.
Yeah.
It's seamless, right? And so when we're talking to advertisers, we want them to definitely check it out, see it, and it has to fit the vibe of Umber. You know what I'm saying? And so because really it's a voice that Umber is a niche on top of a niche.
Right.
You know, it's a niche because it's a printed magazine in Silicon Valley, and it's a niche because it's our perspectives that haven't really been, like, there's nothing like Umber. Right. I've studied magazines for 25 years of my life.
Right. Same here. I just moved, and my friends were like, that helped me, was like, bro, like, how many boxes of magazines you got? Yeah. I was like, hey, I've written in a lot of these, and
nice.
You can't find this stuff. These are encyclopedias to an extent. Like, you cannot find this stuff anymore.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And, you know, people who have listened to the show for a long time know we do a weekly hip-hop trivia event.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I write the questions. That's
nice.
You know, 25 questions every week.
Yeah.
That we've been doing for a year and a half. Like, I only know so much.
Yeah.
Like, we got to research. And some of that stuff
yes, indeed, man.
is research. But I don't think people, again, disposable arts, people just kind of forget things.
Yeah.
But I think this is really dope, man. I
Thanks,
can
man.
see it going a long way.
Thanks,
People
man.
just got to really get behind it. And I think the arts community, especially like young black and brown artists, would definitely rock with it.
Yeah, man.
And support it.
And I also do like,
sure.
I definitely want, it's definitely is written from the perspective of creative people and artists. But then I really want to get the point to where it's like anybody who is just like, who is creative and what, you know, you could be a creative lawyer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to have that weight to it too. You know what I'm saying? Because I think one of the questions that came up when we were doing a campaign is that somebody said, well, you know, are you going to limit yourself if you're saying that, you know, you can only be a creative if you're a visual artist or you're a designer? It's like, no. The design and the visual art is the vehicle to convey your ideas. Right. It's just a tool. It's just a pencil, right, to convey your idea wherever. So if you have a creative way of how you doing a podcast, let's talk about it in Umber. You know what I'm saying? And so, and also, too, what visual would you show to kind of represent that unique perspective in your podcast? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you know, how do you, once again, it's all about the dialogue, right? It's the space that is in between the obvious. And so as we're talking, what would happen if we were to illustrate the conversation? Illustrate us going back and forth, us with the banter or with the laughter or with the seriousness, with the focus. Like really Umber kind of sits in that space, you know what I'm saying, and making it real for people. And so so Umber is definitely for artists, for visual thinkers, but just for anybody who is just wants to look at the world differently. Definitely. You know, wants to see themselves represented.
If it's people that out there that want to buy, you know, an individual copy of the magazine, or it's galleries or stores that want to order in bulk, please let them know how they can reach you, where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely. So it is umbermagazine.net, UMBER magazine.net. You can go there. All the information that you need to order copies and buy them. And once again, we ship anywhere. We ship anywhere in the world, so you buy it and it will get shipped to you. And also, too, you can follow us on Instagram at Umber Magazine, and also, too, on Facebook at Umber Magazine. So yeah, man.
Dope, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. And when we drop this episode, it'll be Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. Make sure y'all don't colonialize no native people. Don't give nobody no smallpox blankets or nothing like that, man. Keep it peaceful. Enjoy your families. And on Friday, if you are in Atlanta or in the Southeast, me and my team, Hip Hop Trivia ATL, we are hosting The Groove, along with one of the best DJs in the world, Wally Sparks, Jeremy Avalon, Xavier Black, and the rest of the work crew. It is R&B all night. If you've ever been, you know it is probably the most cracking party that I've been to in 2017, and I've partied all over the country this year. It is at the Basement, 1245 Glenwood Avenue, Southeast. Go ahead and get your tickets now at thegroove.com. I think that is the email address. It's thegrooveatl.com/tickets, because you know this joint sells out every single month when they do it, and we hosting it, so it's going to be super duper cracking. Make sure you follow us at Day One Radio. That is DAY, the number 1, and radio on all your social media, as well as Hip Hop Trivia ATL on all your social media. And we will be coming with Hip Hop ATL to a city near you very, very soon. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week with another dope show.